Hi Leo, welcome to your eclipse reading, eclipse season reading. So this is going to be a special reading to see what's coming up for you for these eclipses. This eclipse season that's starting out with the partial solar eclipse on the 25th of October. So let's see what's going on for you, Leo. This is going to impact you in a more challenging way because there is a square between your sign and Scorpio. So this eclipse is roughly around 2 degrees of Scorpio. So if you have your sun, moon, or rising sign anywhere between 0 to 10 degrees, it's going to impact you a little bit in a challenging way. It's probably going to be some sort of a I don't know, difference of opinion, whether or not this is some sort of an internal struggle that you have with you, since the sun is your ruling body. So you will probably feel this on a more personal, ego, conscious level sort of thing. There might be something coming up from the depths. What I'm getting strongly with you specifically is some sort of an ego situation where it's coming to the surface in perhaps some sort of an unpleasant way during this eclipse. So yeah, hopefully it's not going to be too bad. But we also have the goddess Venus conjunct this sun eclipse, and there are a lot of Venusian themes showing up with this, specifically about values, the relationship we have with ourselves, or the relationship we have with others, anything related to creativity, beauty, what we find of value, whether these are things, people, situations, whatever that may be. So for some of you Leos out there, it could be some sort of a struggle with relationships with other people. It's going to be some sort of an ego clash between you and others, possibly, depending on where this eclipse is for you. But we'll see what the tarot has for you right now. So what do we have for Leo, please? You've got Pluto, transformation. Well, that's heavy. I feel bad for you, Leo. That is heavy. Now, Pluto does rule Scorpio, so again, I feel like there is something coming here from the depths for you, which is something that came to me when I was intuitively trying to read this eclipse from an astrological perspective. It could be some sort of an ego situation coming up for you to look at, perhaps some of the ugly side of the ego involved into your life at this point. Could be some sort of a clash with others, or it could be some sort of a inner clash in some way that is actually triggering some sort of transformation here. Okay, it's interesting that this card reduces to a 2. So again, 2s have to do with ourselves and the other. Okay, it talks about duality, partnership, things of that nature. So I feel like, there could be something triggering some sort of a power struggle or a clash, okay, with a specific person. It could be some circumstance for you. But this is a heavy one with this Pluto here, okay? If you're a Pluto and Scorpio generation, that's going to be pretty intense because, Pluto's square your sun. This eclipse is probably going to be somewhere near it. So there's going to be some pretty intense things happening for you, okay? So let's see what else for Leo, please. Oh my God. I swear I can't make this stuff up. I mean, I shuffled the cards. You have Scorpio and Pluto. Oh, dear Leo. What is happening with you? I mean, your reading by far, so far with the Oracle cards, it's the most intense one. Okay. I don't know if you feel these eclipses very intensely at this point. You can let me know in the comments below to see what's going on with you. But yeah, there's something very powerful happening for you here. Okay, I will pull some tarot cards for you to see which way this transformation is going. How is it going? But yeah, I feel like there's a lot going on here between Scorpio and Leo that's bringing to the surface a lot of heavy things, ugly things. And this is also number 20. There's another 2 here. 2, 2. Okay. Could be other people involved in this. Okay, triggering something ugly. Let's see, what else? You've got the earth element. Now, what I would say for you, Leo, this earth element showing up, it could be that you need some grounding because there's a lot of intensity here. You may need some grounding desperately. But it could also be that for some of you, you are literally changing from one stage to another, the metamorphosis that's happening perhaps for you during this eclipse. And, you know, I can't say that it's going to be pleasant. It never is when Pluto and Scorpio show up together. But you are changing on a very drastic level, and it does need some grounding. It does need some anchoring, okay, these changes. It does need to be carefully considered and taking the necessary steps so you don't get swept away by the intensity of it. So, you know, I would say to be careful with what's happening because it can be too much, okay, for some of you. Now, for some of you, like I said, you're changing something drastically and you're beginning to embody the changes that are happening to you because the earth element is here. You're beginning to bring this new you into reality, for this new you to take roots, okay? Because the earth is where the roots are. And it's interesting, Pluto rules what's underground, okay? So with the earth element showing up here, something profound is taking root here, okay? Or there's something profound being uprooted by the transformation. It could go either way depending on what stage of your transformation are, or how old you are and how much inner work you've been doing up until this point. Now, if this transformation is totally catching you by surprise and you feel a little bit freaked out in that, this earth element is here to tell you need to stabilize this very intense energy, okay, to find some way to stabilize it. That's why we need the Taurus side. When you have too much Scorpio, you need to balance it out with some earth, okay, some earthy energy. For some of you that are more advanced into your transformation journey, you're literally, this new transformation is taking root, is being embodied, is being brought up into reality. You're beginning to act from a new space. You're beginning to create, to build, to grow something, to grow a new you, or to grow new concepts, new meanings. It's quite an intense energy for you, Leo. I will say that much. So let me see, what else can we get for you? So tell us what else there is for Scorpio. I'm sorry, for Leo. I said Scorpio. I was looking at that card. Now you could have lots of planets in Scorpio. Of course, again, if you are a Scorpio, Pluto Scorpio generation at somewhere roughly between 0 to 10 degrees of Scorpio, You're going to feel this pretty intensely because that sun's going to be there. That eclipse is going to happen pretty close to that Pluto, especially if that's impacting other planets in your chart. It's going to get pretty wild, so buckle up, Leo. So let's see. Okay, let me move these up a bit. So Scorpio, I keep calling you Scorpio, that's crazy. Okay, Leo, you are Leo. You may want to watch the Scorpio reading, again, if you have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart. There's definitely something intense happening here for you. You've got the Tower here as well, and the Eight of Wands. I do feel like you probably are going to be caught by surprise with something here that's going to trigger some sort of a transformation for some of you. Again, like I said, it depends on where you are on this particular journey of inner transformation or whatever healing journey you're finding yourself on. I also do see some healing happening here, but it's almost like the impression that I got is like you're sitting there thinking, okay, I've done some work and now I feel better about myself. I've transformed to a certain degree, and then bam, something else happens and you're like, oh, this again, there's more. You know, it's almost like a sense of you sitting there and all of a sudden you just realize that there's more. Like there's more to do, there's more coming. Um, it's a very strange energy. Now, for some of you, you do have some person entering your life here. Okay, that's for some of you. You have some fast-moving energy coming your way. You know, the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Wands. I mean, this could be you, Leo. You are a fire sign. You also have the King of Pentacles here, which is, you know, another person showing up here. Could be of an earth sign, another fire sign for some of you. You know, if this person comes into your life, I do feel like that's where the trigger happens. You know, either this person is very intense, very platonic. It does seem like there's a lot of attraction happening here, a lot of intensity coming through from this person. But if that's not the case, you don't have somebody coming in during this time. I see you shifting from one stage to another pretty quickly. You know, you have this Four of Swords, which is at the center here, especially with the Scorpio energy. I do feel like you are trying to heal something here. You're trying to ground yourself, okay? I did mention that there's a need for some grounding here because this energy is quite intense. I feel like you're trying to take stock of where you've been, how much you've healed, how much you've done, but it's like you're getting to that point where it's like, isn't it enough? I've done, you know, some things, and then there's more coming up. There's stuff coming up to the surface that there's more to be needed, to be done. I do feel like something is disrupting your peace here, to be honest with you, Leo. There is a major disruption that's happening here. I don't know if it's disrupting your stability, your financial stability, or, you know, with this Tower being here, it's literally disturbing the peace is how I'm seeing it. Or again, there is some other chapter of your transformation process that is starting to happen during this eclipse. There's just more to unearth. There's more to deal with. Now you do have some very powerful fiery energy showing up here. You've got the Magician, the Knight of Wands. There's something manifesting here for you. Perhaps for some of you, you're gaining your freedom back. Okay, if you've been somewhat stuck in a particular place, perhaps you've been stuck because the earth element on its more negative side, if it's too much of it, it tends to keep you kind of locked in place. So it does feel like you're beginning to move a little bit. You know, there's something stirring up within you or around you, for example, that is, you know, causing some disruptions, but at the same time, it does seem to be to your benefit, even though it's disrupting your peace. Okay. It's interesting that Pluto shows up with the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Pluto in mythology, besides being the lord of the underworld and the death and all of that stuff, that's one aspect of Pluto, or Hades. The other aspects is, you know, in ancient times, Pluto was considered to be the lord of plenty. Okay, there is having a lot. In a lot of depiction, Pluto in Hades is depicted with the horn of cornucopia, where there's like a lot of riches coming out. Is the Lord of riches, the Lord of plenty, and you have the King of Pentacles here. For some of you, there is wealth coming up to you in somewhat of a sudden way. Okay, that could be the case for some of you. Or you find yourself in a position of authority, you find yourself in a position of strength, of making a lot of money, for example. Because you also have the Magician here, and I feel like you're manifesting something that has to do with advancement, movement. Okay, you also have Earth here that again is very much related to Pluto and the King of Pentacles, which is abundance, is wealth, is the plenty. In the earth is where the plenty is. The earth grows everything. Okay. And again, it could be some sort of an earth sign popping up into your reading that is, you know, a mature person. Perhaps this person is offering you some sort of position, or they're offering you a relationship, or, you know, if it's the beginning of a new relationship, it could go either way. But the idea of wealth and abundance is indicated here as well, just through the archetype of Pluto himself. But, you know, not everybody is going to be a millionaire during the eclipse. But I'm just saying there could be some abundance coming up for you as well. Or, you know, there's some major shakeup or a change that's happening with your station in life. Okay, you could rise to fame suddenly, for example. You know, I mean, we don't have the star card here, or the sun, but we do have the Magician. So I do see you having the confidence and the skills to create something better here. For some of you, something is coming down here with this tower, but you're creating something new out of the ashes of this tower, in quite a literal sense. You're taking the ruins of what was and you're building something new on it. Some of you, there's some kind of a conflict here when it comes to resources. You might have to fight for some sort of position here, or win something, you know, in kind of a, I wouldn't say like a ruthless way, but for some of you, this King of Pentacles comes attached with some sort of a challenge here. Okay, I don't know if this is a conflict with a person, or you're kind of ruthlessly fighting for what you have, or holding on to what you have. Okay, I want to see what you are manifesting here. You're going to have an intense time, Leo, for sure, but there is some good things coming out of this. You know, you might not see it right now because you're going to be in the middle of it. You know, this particular conflict or challenge could have something to do with this tower falling. You know, it could be suddenly something is happening, something is being taken away from you, and then you have to find yourself doing something new, building something new. Literally rising from the ashes, which is the archetype of Scorpio. Burning up and then waking up being someone else, doing something else, rising from the ashes. Quite literally in your case. You've got death, another Scorpio energy. Wow, your reading is quite something. So yeah, there's definitely something ending here, big time for you. Tower, death, magician. Now, I will say, Leo, you probably don't want to hear this. It's going to sound very cliche, but this ending is meant to happen. I feel like it's meant to happen in such a way that's beneficial to you in some way, because I feel like there is potential and power within you or around you that in order for you to access this power or for you to access this potential, you have to get rid of whatever it is that's in your life that's not, you know, that is stifling you in some way or constricting you in some way. You know, I mean, it's easy to say that, but when you're in the middle of crises and, you know, things falling apart and, you know, it's just going to feel like, it's just going to feel like nonsense. But really, there is something happening for you very strongly here that's actually going to help you out in the long term. This thing needs to die. This thing needs to go away. Whatever foundation, whatever thing you've got built here, it doesn't seem to be stable to begin with. And, you know, you've got so much transformation and so much death happening here. But, you know, with this death, it's like there is potential that needs to be brought to the surface, that you know, you have to go through this experience in order for you to know what you're made of. Okay? I feel like that's the best way to explain it. I know it's probably going to be quite intense. It's going to be, you know, a bit shaky, but eventually you're gonna know what you're made of. Okay, death and the magician, that's just the best way to explain it. So yeah, just a heads up, Leo, you do have some sort of an event coming up suddenly here that is going to disrupt everything. That's going to turn your world upside down. Whether this is a specific person doing something with you, or you are some sort of a structure is crashing, you know, whatever circumstances you find yourself in, it's going to trigger some major transformation here, some major death, some major crashing, but it's actually going to reveal your potential. Now, keep in mind that this is coming rather fast, okay? It's going to feel pretty much like a sucker punch. So just to be aware of that. Just looking at the energies happening here. It could be that there's somebody coming towards you in some way that is disrupting everything for you and you just didn't anticipate it. You know, whatever resonates for your story. But yeah, it's going to reveal what you're made of, Leo. That's that. And with that, I'll leave it. And I wish you luck with all of this. And let me know how everything goes. And we'll speak soon. Bye, Leo.